August 15th, 1947 is the birthday of free India. It marks for her the end of an old era, the beginning of a new age. But we can also make it by our life and acts as a free nation, an important date in a new age opening for the whole world, for the political, social, cultural, and spiritual future of humanity. August 15th is my own birthday, and it is naturally gratifying to me that it should have assumed this vast significance. I take this coincidence not as a fortuitous accident, but as the sanction and seal of the divine force that guides my steps on the work with which I began life, the beginning of its full fruition. Indeed, on this day I can watch almost all the world movements which I hope to see fulfilled in my lifetime, though then they looked like impracticable dreams, arriving at fruition or on their way to achievement. In all these movements, free India may well play a large part and take a leading position. The first of these dreams was a revolutionary movement which would create a free and united India.
Vande Mataram, Vande Mataram, Sujalam Sufalam Malayaja Shitalam, Sujalam Sufalam Malayaja Shitalam, Sasya Shamalam.
Truth and bold straight dealings we believe to be not only our noblest but our wisest policy in our struggle with the alien. Our leaders have no faith in the nation. They believe it is weak and impotent, and shufflings, evasions, and shallow insincerities are the weapons of the weak. We, for our part, believe in the immense strength of the nation and demand that our leaders shall bring it face to face with the enemy.
Suhasinim Sumadhura Bhashinim Sukhadam Varadam Mataram.
India, free, one and indivisible, is the divine realization to which we move, emancipation our aim. To that end, each nation must practice the political creed which is the most suited to its temperament and circumstances. For that is the best for it, which leads most surely and completely to national liberty and national self-realization.
Vande Mataram, Shamalam.
The school of politics which we advocate is not based upon abstractions, formulas and dogmas, but on practical necessities and the teaching of political experience, common sense, and the world's history. We recognize no political object of worship except the divinity in our motherland, no present object of political endeavor except liberty, and no method or action as politically good or evil except as it truly helps or hinders our progress towards national emancipation.
On the 2nd of May 1908, Sri Aurobindo was arrested. While the famous Aleppo bomb trial went on, he spent a year in jail, during which he had crucial experiences and revelations. He was defended by Deshbandhu Chittaranjan Das, the famous lawyer and one of his nationalist collaborators, who, during the course of the trial, made this prophetic announcement. My appeal to you is this, that long after this controversy is hushed in silence, long after this turmoil, this agitation ceases, long after he is dead and gone, he will be looked upon as the poet of patriotism, as the prophet of nationalism and the lover of humanity. Long after he is dead and gone, his words will be echoed and re-echoed, not only in India, but across distant seas and lands. Therefore, I say that the man in his position is not only standing before the bar of this court, but before the bars of the High Court of history. Sri Aurobindo was acquitted on the 6th of May 1909. All across the land, people waited to hear him speak. His words arose now from the depths of silence.
When I approached God, I hardly had a living faith in Him. The agnostic was in me, the atheist was in me, the skeptic was in me, and I was not absolutely sure that there was a God at all. I did not feel His presence. Yet something drew me to the truth of the Vedas, the truth of the Gita, the truth of the Hindu religion. I felt there must be a mighty truth somewhere in this yoga, a mighty truth in this religion based on the Vedanta. So when I turned to the yoga and resolved to practice it and find out if my idea was right, I did it in this spirit and with this prayer to Him. If thou art, then thou knowest my heart. Thou knowest that I do not ask for mukti. I do not ask for anything which others ask for. I ask only for strength to uplift this nation. I ask only to be allowed to live and work for this people whom I love and to whom I pray that I may devote my life. I strove long for the realization of yoga, and at last, to some extent, I had it. But in what I most desired, I was not satisfied. Then, in the seclusion of the jail, of the solitary cell, I asked for it again. I said, "Give me thy adesh. I do not know what work to do or how to do it. Give me a message." In the communion of yoga, two messages came. The first message said, "I have given you a work, and it is to help to uplift this nation. Before long the time will come when you will have to go out of jail, for it is not my will that this time either you should be convicted or that you should pass the time as others have to do in suffering for their country. I have called you to work, and that is the adesh for which you have asked. I give you the adesh to go forth and do my work." I spoke once before with this force in me, and I said then that this movement is not a political movement, and that nationalism is not politics, but a religion, a creed, a faith. I say it again today, but I put it in another way. I say no longer that nationalism is a creed, a religion, a faith. I say that it is the Sanatan Dharma, which for us is nationalism. This Hindu nation was born with the Sanatan Dharma. With it, it moves, and with it, it grows. When the Sanatan Dharma declines, then the nation declines. And if the Sanatan Dharma were capable of perishing, with the Sanatan Dharma, it would perish. The Sanatan Dharma, this is nationalism. This is the message that I have to speak to you.
Sri Aurobindo withdrew from political life. He knew that what was necessary had been done, and now it was just a question of time before India was independent. He saw that enough had been done to change the whole face of Indian politics and the whole spirit of the Indian people to make independence its aim. But during the World War in 1942, at the time of the Cabinet Mission and the Cripps proposal, he came out of his silence. He saw this proposal as the last chance for an undivided India. He publicly welcomed it and sent appeals to Indian leaders, urging them to accept it. To Sir Stafford Cripps, he sent a personal message.
As one who has been a nationalist leader and worker for India's independence, though now my activity is no longer in the political but in the spiritual field, I wish to express my appreciation of all you have done to bring about this offer. I welcome it as an opportunity given to India to determine for herself and organize in all liberty of choice her freedom and unity, and take an effective place among the world's free nations. I hope it will be accepted and right use made of it, putting aside all discords and divisions.
The first of these dreams was a revolutionary movement which would create a free and united India. India today is free, but she has not achieved unity. It is to be hoped that this settled fact will not be accepted as settled forever, or as anything more than a temporary expedient. For if it lasts, India may be seriously weakened, even crippled. Civil strife may remain always possible even a new invasion and foreign conquest. India's internal development and prosperity may be impeded, her position among the nations weakened, her destiny impaired or even frustrated. This must not be.